I don't do the most, but I do a lot. I'ma make a toast.
Keeping my whole life right now. Right? So I'm gonna roll into a part 2 of this because
I'm coming in.
we were talking before. I'm talking to.
Oh yeah, no, definitely not as good as those wings.
So I want to take a
therapy session right now. I'm be walking upstairs a little lighter, but I'm like, I'm glad I got that off my chest.
So check this out. So you guys here, of course, this is the Understanding Man podcast, and really appreciate you guys joining us. I'm here with the Unsoulicited Opinions crew, and we've been having some discussion. You guys can go back and listen to part 1 of just kind of getting an understanding of men and talking and how we kind of tapping into the emotions and mentorship and things of that nature. And so before we go any further, because we go, it sounds like we might go for like the next 2 hours. So no, just let everybody know who you are, what you guys do, where you're from, all that good stuff.
Well, originally I'm from New Jersey.
Mm-hmm. Oh, what part?
You familiar with Cape May County?
I'm
you know that little peninsula. You know the shape of New Jersey, right?
Right.
That little peninsula on the bottom of New Jersey, a little tip.
Way at the bottom. See, I'm at the top. I'm Bergen County. I'm Hackensack.
Oh, word.
So yeah. Just found out. Wait. And just real quick, guess what?
I saw your post today. I know what you're about.
I'm trying to tell you. Yo, I did not know that, right? So just real quick, y'all. So everybody knows Superman, right? Superman 2. Lex Luthor was trying to blow up Hackensack, New Jersey. Everybody knows that, right? So that's what most people, when I got to Hampton, people was just like, you know what? I heard of Hackensack on Superman. So the other day, I'm minding my business. I was actually watching this on because they have the Chucky stuff about to come out. They've been advertising.
You want sci-fi? Yeah.
So the person was talking and was just like, yeah. So he was from Hackensack, New Jersey. I was just like, what? Chucky from Hackensack? And then it's Charles Lee Ray,
right?
And that comes from Charles Manson, Lee Harvey Oswald, and James Earl Ray.
I did not know that.
I didn't know that either. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, yo.
I did not know that.
So Chucky is got how he was born and all that. So he's from my hometown. So I was like, damn, what they doing in Hackensack? We just a little old city.
Right.
Like, so when you're saying little old Cape Town, I'm like, we're a little old city. And
I'm familiar.
And we got Chucky.
and Lex Luthor.
And Lex Luthor trying to blow us up.
What's going on?
But anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
I don't know where. Oh, yeah. I was talking about where I come from.
Jersey,
from Jersey. Moved down. My family come from a large family. Well, actually, just me and my mom, stepdad. You on that coaster? Yeah, we moved down here in like 1986. I was like 13 years old. That's when I met him.
Yeah, he thought I was trying to rob him.
We've been having this debate for about 20-something years. I know what you said, man.
I wasn't trying to rob you.
When somebody says, nice chain, homie. In that tone.
That intro.
In that tone.
See, that's
Counselor, that's incorrect.
You hadn't let your northern ways go by that. I was really just complimenting your chain. I had chains.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
He was trucked up with his crisp nameplate.
Go ahead, man, because we got
But I was born in Richmond, Virginia. Then we lived in Brooklyn for a little while, and then we moved here. My mom and I moved here. Been here ever since. ATL, College Park.
Yeah.
South side of Atlanta.
Yeah, South side.
So, they grew here, I flew here. That's how that goes. All right?
But we're not from here.
It's a melting pot.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Well, you grew here. Well, no, because if you're from 8th grade, you pretty much grew here.
I went to 6th grade here. So I came here, left, and came back.
He's some Star Wars here.
He can claim that.
Yeah.
But so we were just having a discussion beforehand, and I want to say just really quickly with Unsolicited Opinions. Just if you can give the overview of just the communication in them, what are you guys doing with your podcast, and just
you want to take this one?
I mean, it's basically a weekly podcast that we put on YouTube where we cover
everything,
any topic, but it's just our opinions as
certain
black
things.
men in their late 40s
right.
on certain things. It's comical, it's entertaining,
right.
But it is,
I'm gonna get you in there, and then we're gonna have that serious too.
Oh no, that's it. Yo,
it's
it's a long night tonight. We about to have some fun tonight.
There are no apologies on there. Like,
Right.
No,
we said it, we meant it.
Yeah.
And we,
But come on. I mean, but it's still, me. I'm like, I don't want to hurt nobody's feelings. So
Right.
I just want to have a good time.
Okay.
It's just an outlet for me. What I was telling you before, it's an outlet. So
And
me and him just come in his room. At first, it was an excuse for me to get to hang with my best friend.
Right.
And the wife was,
if you're married, those are real things.
Those are real
You got to
things.
pick the friend and be like, I'm with Chris.
Yeah.
Okay, so everything's cool. But you say certain names like, if I'm with such and such, it's kind of like, where y'all going?
Yeah. Why are you with him?
But I mean, also, it was. I think we started a podcast in the midst of the pandemic. It was
Right.
Yeah.
couldn't really go as many
anywhere.
places as
Yeah.
you wanted to, even though we don't really go a lot
You
of
didn't
places.
go anywhere.
But
Right.
it was an excuse for us to hang out. And these are the same conversations we would have at a bar or anything else.
That's what started, because we would be having the same conversation sitting out there in the couch watching the game that we're having right now.
Right.
And so we was like, why don't we record it? Because at first I started, remember, I still got one on my phone when I recorded our conversation on the telephone. Because we would get on the telephone and talk for like hours, like high school kids. Like me and this dude would be on the phone for like an hour and a half, dying laughing, crack it up.
Right.
But
I think that's important to have that outlet.
I think it is,
That's
too.
what we were talking about earlier, of just like having somebody that you can talk to. And you were just saying, Poochie, that you had different people. You might segment this part off to this person, this part off to this person. And I want to table that just for one moment to say that you knew who you could reach out to. Right. Where I, even in my first book, I put where I went wrong, because when I got married, all the women around me were people I had slept with. I didn't have any close cousins, no sisters or whatever. So I had to table saying certain things to them to get their opinion, because they just gonna be mad that I'm married. Right. So so the only woman that I knew that was gonna be by default was my mom. So I took all my stuff. I mentored under her. My dad didn't care. He was like, "Oh, you're going through problems. You'll be all right." The old school black man. He gonna be like, "Pray,
walk it off."
Yeah, pray. Or you better hit it better. I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, word that I can't even get to hit it. So I wish I could do that part. So you know what I'm saying? That's old. Come on, you know how old school is.
They know.
You ain't handling your household. You ain't hitting it good enough.
Yeah.
Or you're not making enough money.
Like
or
every comment was like a straight dart to your pride.
Right. There you go. So I would like to, I'm glad you said that, because I would actually, Dad, like to express more to you. And I think my dad was a great dad. You know what I'm saying? In this category, he sucked. He sucked in the emotional area of being able to have. So
But what did he get?
That's exactly. He passed that on. You know what I'm saying? And so what did they get before that? And so the building a man of, you got to be hard, you got to be tough so that you can go out here and survive in this life, right? And so I understand that from a masculinity toughness, but at the same time, we are
skin toughness.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And we have another aspect. I don't care what nobody says. Black men have another aspect of life, right?
And
of
they
toughness,
had to be hard,
right? So just like expressing yourself,
right.
I feel some type of, the words I feel some type of way, that's real. When you get married and now and not speaking from the heart, when you get married and now you told me no about sex. I've never been told that before. What do I do with this? If I call my boys, they're gonna be like, dude, like, what's wrong with you? Like, my woman would never tell me no, because you're gonna call your single boys. They ain't never heard about this.
Right.
They've never heard this before.
No experience.
No is only associated with I'm on my cycle. Other than I'm on my cycle, you don't hear no as a young man.
No.
Like prior to marriage, right?
Right.
So, okay, and I'm paying the mortgage, and I'm dealing with these kids, and you just told me no. Where do I take these feelings? I can't go to my mom with that.
No.
Where do I take this? I can't go to my single boys. They're not understanding. Where do I go?
Those are the feelings that get a lot of relationships in trouble.
Right.
And that scenario is, I call it grandmama's house.
Mm-hmm.
And that scenario, and none of this is right, so I'm not condoning this.
Oh Lord!
But I still have the theory.
This is gonna be called the Coaster episode.
Right. Look, I'm telling you, and I keep forgetting too with it. It's just hilarious.
So I call it the grandma thing. So the guy is in a relationship with a woman, and he's not used to being told no. whether it's no for sex, no for something, everything. But I'm going to keep it sexual.
Right.
Right? And if he's told no, or if it was something like, let's say before the no came, it was consistent. Right?
Okay.
And
Hit a dry patch.
Let's say it was every Thursday.
Okay.
Right? And then it all of a sudden stopped. For a lot of men, that's when the grandma rule kick in. And so let me explain this.
King of analogies.
I'm waiting for that. I'm waiting for this one. Come on.
Me too. Me too.
I'm sure you've heard this before, Brian. Your mother take you to get Pizza Hut every Thursday.
Okay.
Like clockwork.
Right.
Y'all go get pizza every Thursday.
Yes, sir.
You used to getting pizza on Thursday. You looking forward to pizza on
Come
Thursday.
on, Pizza Hut.
And then one day, your mother just says, we ain't going to Pizza Hut no more. Pizza ain't good for you. I'm tired of Pizza Hut. We not doing Pizza Hut no more. Now, you've been looking forward to Pizza Hut.
Come on.
You used to Pizza Hut.
I can't wait to get to
So
that.
then,
I know it's coming. I know
So
it's
as a child, what do?
Have a fit.
Well, you could.
Suck it up.
Or you could go to your grandma and say, Grandma, can we go to Pizza Hut? And she say, sure, baby, we can go to Pizza Hut. And Grandma would take you to Pizza Hut.
I see where you're going.
Grandma take you to Pizza Hut. And now, after she take you to Pizza Hut, what she do? She drop your ass back off at home.
Right.
Now, you don't want to leave your mama. You like your room. You got Tonka trucks. You got posters on the wall.
Oh my
Ain't
God.
nothing wrong with your house.
I
where
love
you
this
stay.
analogy. It's
Ain't nothing
wonderful.
where you stay. You just mad because
You didn't get
you didn't get Pizza Hut on Thursday. So you say, Grandma, can we go to Pizza Hut? She said, sure, baby. We can go to Pizza Hut. Now, Grandma ain't trying to raise you. Grandma don't want to keep you. Grandma don't want you to move into her guest room. Grandma just going to take you for Pizza Hut.
This analogy.
That analogy is
This is amazing.
It's
She's just
amazing.
going to take you to Pizza Hut, and then she's going to drop you back off. Now, you happy. The person that didn't want to go to, in your mind, the person that didn't want to go to Pizza Hut is happy.
Right?
I mean,
Oh my
you know,
gosh, this is amazing.
and you're like, okay, well, I still got my Pizza Hut. Everything else was cool.
And this is what you get on our show.
But everything else was
This
cool. But I called it the
is-
grandma analogy because
That's
if
great.
if you stop pizza and somebody really want pizza, they're going to go get that pizza. And they might not necessarily want to leave the
Listen.
establishment, but they're
No,
going
no,
to get
no,
that pizza.
no. But let me help. Let me walk with you on that. May I?
Please.
May I?
No, please,
I would like to bring an
please,
example.
please,
This doesn't come
please.
from me. This comes from my
Please.
man Charles, right? My man. Oh, okay. So he gave an analogy. He said, "Listen, if you leave home in the morning, right, when you go to work,
Right.
and so before that you leave for home, your wife packs you a lunch. I mean, excuse me, packs, she breakfast, eggs,
Right.
When when you head to work, you're gonna pass by some restaurants or whatever, but you're not gonna stop because you've already been
got
fed.
your lunch.
Right.
Lunchtime comes around, all right, and everybody's gonna go out, to XYZ restaurant, but your wife packed you a lunch, right? So even though this is you're one of your favorite restaurants they're going to, there's no need for you to go there because you have your lunch
have your
that's already
lunch.
been packed. Okay. 2-3 o'clock, you get hungry, right? So you work until 5. 2-3 o'clock, you start getting hungry. All right. And so your wife calls you and says, "Hey, I got some steak and potatoes and just a little cornbread, little juice when you get home, little glass of wine when you get home." Right. Now, 3 more hours later, you get off. You real hungry. You're gonna pass all those restaurants that's got food smelling good, whatever case may be.
Favorite restaurant.
But what is in your mind?
I'm going home to eat
You
that steak.
were told that when you get home, this is your steak. So you're gonna pass you're gonna look at it and want. So the overall analogy was, you know what? Like, don't leave your man hungry, because if you leave him hungry, at some point he could go eat. It's not okay. So that's just so. With regard to your analogy was real light, but it was dope, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, so I want to just go, and the reason why that I say that is that if a man was to get to that point of okay, he might step out, right? Because he's hungry, right? If we had to reel him back in, what would you say? Because the analogies that we just gave were accountability on the woman's side, in my opinion.
Right.
Where's the accountability for the man on the man's side? Because I don't want to just leave it out there. It's not just ladies get it together.
No, you
man.
can't.
What do we need to do?
How do we? Really, I mean, in the end, through trial, error, of my own experiences, it boils down to communication. You know what I'm saying? So it's a communication thing.
You got to be able to talk to your spouse.
Yeah, you're supposed to be.
You're supposed to be about anything. But it's not.
About anything. It's not as easy as.
I was gonna say. So it sounds good. It's almost like people say, in marriage, all you need is prayer and God. That's a lie. It's not true.
It's not true.
Okay. So if we say, because it's kind of like, how is your communication with God? How is your communication with that love? Are you because a part of the love is community. So the top 3 reasons for divorce: number 1 is infidelity, number 2 is finances, and number 3 is communication. Right. And the number 3 and number 1 bounce back and forth between number 1. Sometimes communication is the number 1 reason.
Right.
So everybody's grown until it's time to communicate.
Right.
It's time to communicate. Give me my ball. I'm going home. Right.
Exactly.
So it's not. So if we say just communicate,
it
sounds good.
It sounds good.
How do I do that? How do I communicate if I'm a man and I'm not getting what I needed from a just to say from a physical intimacy perspective?
Right.
His love language is physical touch. He's not getting it. We say, okay, lady, you should. Obviously you should be stepping up in this area. Blah blah. Don't leave your man hungry. Okay. So while she has that accountability, what do we say to the man?
Well, the flip side is the man needs to know what her love language is. Like the I guess the circle. It was a circle. I don't want to say downward spiral, but it was just basically a circle. Like in my relationship, I know I'm a physical touch person.
Right.
Like I need to feel desired. I need to feel wanted. Right. I need to feel like I'm the man to you, and. Whereas hers was more communication. She wanted affirmation.
Yeah, words of affirmation.
Words of affirmation.
That's me.
And
because everybody has a primary and a secondary, so she could be like, I'm words of affirmation and physical touch. It's like 1 and 1-A for me. Like right. I can give a damn about gifts and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't care about gifts or anything like that. But affirmation and more communication. So she wanted me to open up. Mm-hmm. Well, the circle, the bad circle is like I will open up, but I usually open up more when there's physical activity. You know what I'm saying?
AKA also know this pillow talk. I was just about, I could not get it out. I was trying to get this blue cheese off my finger. I was gonna say pillow talk.
That pillow talk.
Like if you want anything out of a
man, yeah.
No, but that's actually no. That's just I'm gonna give a nugget, right, ladies? If you want to have conversation with your man right after he busts, have a conversation with him. You can get over 90% of
Truth serum.
Like truth serum.
Yo, it's like, but I love you. You know what I'm saying? What you want to?
Where's my PIN number?
Yeah. It's a great time to have conversation.
Right. And so my circle was.
And if you're not getting the communication, that means you're not doing it right. That's on you.
But I'm just saying, my
you eat a piece of celery on that.
Our bad circle was. She wanted me to communicate and open up more to her, which would make her want to be more physical with me if she got the communication. I couldn't get there because I wasn't getting the physical, so I wasn't opening up.
On the crazy cycle.
It's a cycle.
Yeah, so it was a circle. And so, because my shit's locked up because, like we discussed earlier, I'm a man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not being emotional, this or that. Everything's boxed up, guarded, and... I'm like a big file cabinet.
Right.
I can take something, put that shit away, lock it up.
Yeah.
And if I need to access it, I pull the drawer out, flip through the
because and I'm glad that you brought that up because men compartmentalize things.
Yeah.
Of course.
And so you just gave the best example just freely of that. That's why there's a book called Men Are Like Waffles, Women Are Like Spaghetti.
Right.
Because we got the little, you look at the waffle, you got the little squares.
Right.
We do one good thing at a time.
Right. Put a little syrup.
I thought about this before. Do you think it's a survival instinct? Do you think it has some origin in that?
Well, I
be able to just separate different tasks or separate different aspects of your life so you can keep functioning. Because I thought about I compartmentalize. I can break stuff down into different or areas of my mind.
Right.
That's the reason why that I always recommend like the male brain and the female brain. I think that right next to the Bible, those books need to be read because it breaks down what your brain is designed to do. What your brain is designed to do. Women communicate better than men. So here goes your lady asking you to communicate. Well, per day, women do about 20,000 words, men do 5,000. Why is that? Their communication portion of a woman's brain is bigger than ours. So we just like, why you want to talk? They over there like, why won't you talk? And that's how you have two separate people coming together. And if they don't have an understanding of how everybody's designed, and then I have to become intentional on, like you said, if you wanted to have physical touch, it's her responsibility to become intentional about that. If she wants words of affirmation, it's your responsibility or our responsibility to become intentional about their love. You got to love the other person the way they want to be loved. Men have to understand that. Stop tripping if your woman is desiring. This is how she feels love.
Right.
You're not going to change it. You can't influence it. You can't fuss it. You can't bone it out of her. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't do it. It's what it is, right?
Right.
You got to now sign up for this is how this person might be for forever. Right. That's what a love language is, gentlemen.
Yeah,
do you want to know how to? Do you want to stay there? Okay, this is not changing about her. You down with it? Oh, you're not? Okay, leave her. She's somebody else's blessing, and so are you.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
So
Right.
his advice is much better than the marital advice.
I mean, I told you, I feel like
But I'm just saying, if you,
Like
if
my
you look at the
life
brass
has
and tacks.
So look, I want to share the advice that I gave. I gave his wife when they got married. So it's so much different than yours. so she, right after they got married, we had a blast in New Orleans. Everybody's like super drunk. She's like, "What advice would you give me, for our marriage?"
Okay.
she still talks about this.
Yeah, because I meant that shit. I looked in her eyes and I said, "Fuck your husband."
Oh my God.
Fuck your husband.
And
And to this day, I was like, look,
15 years later.
regardless of what's going on, fuck your husband.
and I understand that. But every man, just the clients that I work with, I have some men that are quality time. They don't even want a bone. They want their wife to spend time with them because she's always working out there being great, right? So, okay, go be great, honey. Go do your thing. Hey, I need quality time. Watch the news with me, Netflix and chill, date night. There are men that are quality time love language, right?
I feel like I'm up that way in certain aspects. Like, I enjoy quality. Just like, let's just go out.
See,
have
me,
some
that's
drink.
like further down on my list.
Right. I mean, don't get me wrong.
And he ain't mad that I gave her that advice at all.
No, I'm not mad that he gave me that advice, but I enjoyed that aspect of the relationship.
But that was
So,
good
yeah,
advice, though, by
yeah,
the way, because it
yeah.
is important. Because
It's
on
important.
average, they just think that that's where we are, but it hits a plateau. We're the dog running around with the pink thing when we're in our 20s, right?
Right,
We start
right.
hitting them 40s, we just like 5 minutes, let's go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We ain't trying to go 30 and 40 and at the end 60 minutes. We're not doing that.
Yeah.
Just
Those
roll.
days have passed.
They not either though.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, right?
Yeah. Hurry up, boy.
You ain't done.
But-
You ain't done yet.
But to your point, like, you say, okay, bone your husband or whatever. I mean, that's kind of like people think that that's a silver bullet, and it's not for
It's
all
not.
men.
It's not.
But that's how we were all taught that.
Oh, yeah.
So all the
Conquering.
all the physical touch guys are like, yeah, that's right. But then the words of affirmation men are in the corner like, yeah, I want to have sex too, but like, tell me I'm dope.
Yeah.
Right.
Tell me that I did a great job yesterday.
Because my thing was, you can always have sex, but then when that's over, then what?
Right, there you go.
Then what?
Right.
Like, do you want to be around that person?
Right.
Do you want to hang with that person, or you just want them to go?
And we're gonna wrap it up in a minute. I just wanted to just kind of tap over there, just particularly over on the relationship side, because before I roll out, did anybody ever tell you or what? No, let's reach back. If you had to reach back to your teenage years, all right, what would you have done differently? I want each one of y'all to answer this. Okay, this is actually chapter 14 of Memoirs of a Father to His Son. Right? What would you have done differently regarding your relationships with women? Did y'all hear that pause? Oh my God. If y'all saw the sigh in here, oh my gosh.
Okay, give me a specific age because I think I think
just
in
your younger.
I'm about to say teenage years. I think it's from 15 to 16 to 17 are drastic changes.
Listen, you could say what you would have done teenage wise,
Differently?
20 years, in your 30s, in your younger years. If you had to reach back and talk to Brian and say, Brian, I would not have done this at 24, or I wouldn't have done this at 15. She was the one that you probably could have did it.
Right.
You know, like what would you say?
In my younger,
or stop hoeing, or
yeah, that's
hoe
what I was
some
about to say.
more.
In my younger years when I was in the military in Hawaii, and prior to that, it was I had that more is better mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was, yeah.
So what would you tell yourself right now?
Yeah.
I
mean,
I think the only thing I would
You would say, yeah?
no, I would
Keep
say
going?
no. I would say that ain't. I mean, that looking back on it now, because I don't remember half of those faces. You know, I don't want to get myself.
So what? I want you. That's what I'm saying. I was about to go. I'm just like, oh, he playing around. I want you to be. Would you tell him not to do it?
Some
or would you say?
No, you know what?
questionable.
Okay.
I would tell myself to at least. I don't really think I had a lot of real relationships, so I didn't. I didn't get into quote unquote real relationships till much older. That I would consider relationships. I had girlfriends, but didn't treat them like girlfriends.
Right.
Didn't. So I didn't have never had to have the experience of really joining. I guess joining with somebody. It was like everybody was a plus one. So it was like me.
Okay.
I'm coming to the party.
Okay.
And you a plus one.
Right.
If you don't show up, so be it. I'm still going
You
to
got
the party.
another. Okay.
I'm still going to the party.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like we got invited
Okay.
into this relationship. It was like I'm in this relationship. I have, and then you can be a part of this. Yeah,
That's interesting. Okay.
Well,
when I was
in
younger,
other words, you did not claim anybody.
no, I might claim her as
Because if they're a plus one, that's not your dude.
He
That's
claimed
not
them
your,
on site. They didn't show up. They didn't claim.
That's not your boo, dog. That's not your chick. You know what I'm saying?
Now
You're not-
she
if-
here,
if she
that's my
plus
girl.
One, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but she
Plus
not
one
here,
is whoever.
I'm-
So you can have 5 plus 1s in the room. You see what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
if you don't show up, you ain't down.
Scenario.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So that's what it would sound like. You didn't claim nobody.
Exactly, but I'm just saying. So if I was looking at my younger self, I would tell him, you need to understand a full relationship.
Okay,
full blown relationship, because I didn't do that in my
Right.
young, up through my 20s, and
No. I thought relationship was sex.
yeah, basically.
Basically, yeah. Like
It's like my
your
girlfriend
was
was
having sex with. Exactly.
girlfriend
The
was whoever I was
most.
having sex with
The
most.
most.
Wow.
The most.
The most. So
Yeah,
that's,
The most.
The most.
y'all heard it here first.
I mean, and that was kind of our mentality back then. Coming up.
because nobody. I don't
even know where I got that from. I'm thinking, why was it? I was
got it from me.
hypersexual. I did get a lot. I was influenced by you. But you're only a year older than me. He's only 1 year older than me. But I was influenced by
same peer group, right? Yeah, it's the same peer group.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, here, try this. Come here, let's do this.
And then it
so-
happened. It was like, oh, wow, okay, that's what we doing.
Let's try this sex thing. Let's try this oral sex thing.
Let's
Let's
try
just
this group
that's
thing.
But that's okay. So y'all on some other stuff, right?
I'm just saying.
Hey, I'm just saying.
That's what
high
happened.
So
school,
Booty
yeah.
World occurred way before Booty
Oh
World.
yeah, the foundation of Booty World was set on the
When y'all
south
said, I
side.
thought it was something he originated.
I was trying to tell you.
So, but no, it was like because in that era,
And it's too crew era now. I'm blaming it on
That is that time frame. That's early '90s. That's what that
but
is.
like, I don't ever remember.
That's when the over sexualized started really coming in, and it was and it was like
mainstream.
Reverend Butts was rolling over 2 Live Crew
records in the street.
records in the street. You know what I'm saying? Like it said sex and
Throw
booty.
that D era.
We heard Throw That D for the first time in our gym
And
during the sock
VCRs and access to pornographic materials in
But if
that
I was,
area.
but to go back to your question, I would tell my younger self to like really try a relationship. Because
Okay.
I don't ever remember.
Okay.
I don't
I like
ever
that.
remember. I never asked
I
anybody
haven't
to be my
heard
girlfriend.
that one. Okay.
I haven't had.
You ain't
know,
say, will you go with me?
No, we didn't do that. It was just.
I was say I had a girlfriend. You had a girlfriend.
But what happened?
But we
was,
had to say the phrase, will you go with
no,
me?
this didn't happen. They claimed you. What happened was you had sex
Nah,
with them.
see, I was old school. I was like,
Well,
yeah,
whatever.
you my girlfriend?
You had sex with them.
Yeah, B.
Wear my leather jacket.
You had
Yeah,
sex with
girl.
them.
Look at some
he-
pictures.
Look at him reminiscing.
Let's make some pictures taken together.
That joker he was like, yeah, I'm remembering by the locker.
No, it's like, look, you flirted with them, you had sex with them, or y'all made out or something, and,
Right.
and if it happened
Right.
continually, kind of like regularly scheduled for like 2 months, next thing you know, she's like, that's my boyfriend, and you don't fight it. You
Wow.
be like, okay, I guess so.
I
Because
think I'm gonna
when's the
call
last
BS
time-
on this one, man. I think you ain't never tell a girl, hey, are we boy? You ain't never had that conversation with a female in high school, like, are we boyfriend and girlfriend?
I don't ever recall asking
Oh, you gonna hit that on recall?
No, I'm just saying,
They
I don't
know
ever.
all the old stories of each other, y'all.
I don't remember
Somebody
ever
gotta tell the
saying,
truth.
"Hey, will you be my girlfriend?" I
Never.
just remember being told.
All the way even through, through middle school.
No, I'm not. That's not the era I'm talking
Okay.
about.
So it has happened, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all
I
right.
did the, you
I
did
thought
the
you
little
were-
paper thing.
Thank
with
you,
the, yeah.
man. Come
But
on.
no, but
man.
just to bring it back real quick.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
'Cause
Yeah,
y'all going way back. Yeah. No. But overall, your feedback to yourself would be, engage in a relationship.
Yeah, have a real
open up in
relationship.
that area. I
Because-
haven't heard
because-
many men
because
say
what
that.
happened was when it became time when I wanted to be in a real relationship, when I
Okay.
got vested in being in a real relationship,
Right.
I didn't have much experience at it.
Right.
So
But that's an excuse. You were old enough to know. How could you not know? And I'm just
Yeah.
speaking devil's advocate
yeah,
wise.
but I'm just saying. But if you don't have any experiences, you're not good at anything you don't have some experience with.
Okay.
Nobody picks up a basketball at 7 years old
And
and
just starts
and
dribbling.
can do a crossover and can just start dribbling. You have to have some experience at something. You could have good intentions.
Here we go again.
You could have great intentions, and you could have willpower and say, "Hey, I want to learn this." But you're the last person to get picked up at the game. Because if you can't dribble, they be like, "I'm picking Brian.
King analogies,
I'm picking
man.
such
Yo,
and such."
your analogies have been dope
But
tonight.
he's
dog.
been. It's his whole
Yo.
life. He's done this. His whole life.
So
he's done
you're not
this.
getting picked up.
That's how I think.
And
It's
so
I think
if
it's
you
a
don't have
skill.
experience, doing something, right?
Right.
And now, granted, you gotta want to do it.
Right.
You gotta have the desire. I didn't have any desire to do it until much later.
So just real quick. Okay.
Yeah,
So I
not
want to
bad.
I want to move this portion of the comment. You were just talking to yourself. What would you tell the women that were in your space?
I'm
No. So they're with you, right? What would you tell them to do? Would you tell them to have more patience with you? Would you tell them to run and hide? Would you tell them that, I'm working on it or whatever? Like, what would you tell the woman that's with you?
At that age,
At that age, yes.
if I'm looking back,
Yes,
now,
you're looking back at yourself, so you already took.
Run and hide.
Run and hide.
Okay.
Get the hell away.
Get
Get-
out.
You wouldn't tell anybody that you're working. You want to, because the only reason why I brought that up, you actually wanted to have a relationship. You just didn't do it. So is it that please have patience with me? Or is it just run and hide? Because at some point, there's a turning point there.
Okay.
Does that make
That's it.
sense?
Yeah, it makes sense, but I think there's some confusion.
Okay.
You're saying now, what would I tell myself back then?
Right.
I would tell myself back then, try to have a real relationship.
Right. I got that.
Right. And but if I'm looking back at those women back then when they're that age,
Okay.
I would say run and hide
Okay.
because at that time, that
when
me
that's
then
serious.
I had no desire.
No intention to be
So
serious.
you wouldn't tell them, hey, and I'm going here for a reason. You wouldn't tell them, hey, nurture me through this moment because I really inside want to be in a
No.
relationship.
No, because I didn't have any desire to be in it back then.
Okay.
And it
I'm
goes
trying
back to the
Okay.
machismo. You're not going to tell no
Okay.
girl
No,
that
no.
at that
And so-
teenage age.
At
You
that
don't have to.
time-
You don't have to. You can't even communicate that
Right.
at that age.
Right. No, I appreciate that.
I mean, but honestly, no, because by the time I got to college,
Okay.
I wrote a manifest on
Right. How to be a player.
Unabomber?
I wrote a manifest.
But no, I want to put a post-it on the manifest because we're gonna get back to the manifest. The reason why that I asked you that question is because some people are not designed for you to nurture. Excuse me. A man is not okay. Let me ask y'all like this: do you feel like that it's a woman's job to nurture me through, and I'm in Playboy status of where he was, right? And so, hey, ladies, have patience or just walk with me and help nurture me to this point.
I played that card in the past.
I know that, and that was the next place I was going to go, because we know that you're,
baby. I'm working on myself.
Thank you.
I'm trying to be better.
That keeps some women in because they're thinking,
Until the
first
next
of all,
time.
we know you're trying to nurture us there. And so if we just every now and then say, yeah, I want to be with you, but I'm just hurt. Now you like, oh, well, what can I do to help him not be hurt? And now you're going to stay there. But meanwhile, there are people out there at your earlier age, you're saying, because you then was no differently than, like you said, how the scenes changed between your dad and you, right? So this is still going on right now, that somebody is not for you. And you're not supposed to nurture them through. And so that's what I just wanted to get that out there, because when you went there, if I had to give that piece of advice that you just came out with, ladies, you're not here to nurture us into being, in a monogamous relationship with you. We're trying to Playboy right now. It's not your job.
Yeah.
Right?
It's
now,
not.
if you want to stay there and be the cut buddy or whatever, do you. But just don't think that you going to throw it on him good enough or say something good enough that's going to make him say, okay, now I want to choose you.
Yeah, that's not gonna work. Especially from two cats from the South Side that been going to strip clubs since 15.
So, oh man, this is deep. I love this conversation.
Yeah, we gotta wrap up in a minute.
This is.
I know we gotta do some other
This
stuff.
is what we've been staying away from on our show. We were staying away from these conversations on our show.
Well, no, that's why I wanted to have y'all on here to give your unsolicited opinion.
Yeah,
because I know you guys are going to speak from the heart, number one, but number two, anytime that we have gentlemen who are mature enough to open up about what you didn't do and what you should do and where you are going, whether it's ugly or whatever. I like people to show their ugly past.
Me too, because I'm definitely at the age
if
now.
your past was ugly, okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
Whose is
it?
Yeah, if you was the worst playboy, whatever, you can turn around, because sometimes people be asking.
Change, man.
Yeah, people. Yeah. I've had people ask me, "Well, Elam, how you giving advice? You stepped out on your wife, or you used to live this type of life."
I'm like, learn from that.
Hello, you think I ain't learn? And you think I don't want to tell people how to do differently now?
Right. You learn. I mean, life is you learn every day.
If you want, do you want to learn how to get out the struggle from somebody who had a silver spoon in their mouth, or somebody who came from the gutter?
Actually went through it.
You know what I'm saying?
Like went through it. Yeah.
So, I want to just wrap up really quickly. I really appreciate you guys. Gonna have to have you guys back on here. This is probably did like I was about to go into a part 3, but I know we got other stuff to do.
Man,
so
we don't.
We're gonna
no, we don't.
We're gonna circle back.
I just got to refill my drink. That's about it.
I do want you to at least shout out what you got coming up recently, though. You got this coming up on November 19th.
Okay, yeah. Actually, I forgot about that. So that's the King's Retreat, right? And so that's myself. I actually met Kiana Howell. She is the coordinator of it, and she has just put together for November 19th through the 21st. This is my first coming out of COVID conference,
right?
But Kia, I'm a guest speaker there, and so each one of us are going to have different topics. It's going to be between those 3-4 days of just coming and just really getting the mentorship that we were kind of talking about earlier, but in different areas: finance, relationship, spirituality, just different areas, and how you can more tap into becoming, a king. Because men don't gather like that. You can have 1,000 women's empowerment, girl, we can do it. But men, if it's not sports related, like
or in the pursuit of women, we'll gather in the clubs.
And I'm gonna say amongst us, because other than can Tony Robbins draw a crowd? Absolutely, right?
Yeah.
But how many black people gonna be in that audience? You know what I'm saying?
Very few.
And so because again, because
we want to be entertained.
We want to be entertained, but we don't want to.
Empowered,
but we don't want to entertain what's necessary to get that level of empowerment, because men don't use that word. Let's empower the men, right?
Right. You're right. I mean, we would more likely be, we had a desire to be entertained. Like
I'd rather go see Chappelle than go see Tony Robbins.
We're at a concert. We're at a concert in a heartbeat.
I heard about that Dave Chappelle within 24 hours of it coming out.
Right.
And I like him and all that, but not to cut you off, but just to the point, we want to be entertained.
Right.
But like, who just dropped one of the dopest entrepreneurship books? Who did? right? Who has a conference coming out that's in somebody's city somewhere that might be a smaller person or just not, there's not a TD Jakes, right?
Right.
Who has some, talking about, investments or pre-marriage counseling or the importance of having a mentor, while you're married.
That sounds like that would be you.
Okay. Who does that?
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
But
And
I understand what you're saying.
I was working on that, but I
yeah.
kind of pulled back from it. But as time goes on, I'm so glad that Kiana has that, that event, because it gives us an opportunity to just speak to the men. And she found me on social media. I didn't know her beforehand,
Right.
but there was a blessing that was put out there, and I was just like, oh, okay, all right, cool. So
You're
just
good at what you
as
do.
hey man, listen,
Yeah, you're good at what you do.
I didn't notice in the Hampton days. You know what I'm saying? Back when. It's real cool to be on, on the podcast. Poochie is one of my big brothers from Hampton University. So shout out to the BX Noobs. But just to watch you guys evolve just into the unsolicited opinions. I got my podcast over here. You got your podcast over there. But we can blend and work together.
There's room for all of us. Yeah.
And people, I've been asked that before. Well, such and such is doing the same thing that you're doing, and I'm just like, we can all win together. We're not in competition.
Not
But that's
crabs,
not what we were taught.
But that crabs,
We weren't taught that.
Crabs in the barrel mentality.
We weren't taught that. We
No.
can both be. And I had a good friend reach out to me that was wanting to move into the relationship space. He was like, man, we're cool, but I want to move into this space. I just don't want you to think that I'm stepping on your toes and stuff like that. And I said, look, dude, whatever I got, whatever I need, whatever you need, just let
throw
me know.
ideas at each other.
And that's what I said. I was just like, man, we can do an event together.
Right. We could both.
You know what I'm saying?
We could both
Like,
do this. We could both.
We're not
do
in
this.
competition.
No.
So, if we had to
I don't
just
like that mentality.
put that in part, as we impart to the young men, are we in competition?
No,
We're not.
Why? I want to see you shine, just like I want to see him shine, just like I want to see my brother next door shine.
Mm-hmm.
I want everybody.
It's
enough out here.
It's enough
It's
food
enough
for
for
everybody
everybody to eat. If you just,
my only advice would be uniquely you.
Ooh, need to shine that across the bottom of the screen. That's what's up.
Yeah, be uniquely you. Don't try to be
anybody else.
Here come the analogy. Go ahead.
No,
Go with it. Go with it, Seth. Go ahead.
No, it's no
when we
analogy.
do our show, it's just us.
It's just, yeah.
And, honestly, we love the support that
Right.
we've been getting.
Right.
We love that people watch it, that they enjoy it.
Right.
It's two guys. We're being silly. We cover all topics.
Right.
But at the end of the day, it was just a conversation we were
right.
going to
Yeah,
have
we're
anyway.
gonna,
And that's the
this is what
blessing.
we was gonna be doing anyway, just
And
without
so-
microphones and recording equipment.
So it's genuinely, uniquely us.
Mm-hmm.
It's-
And people don't. There's some people that have been like, "Y'all stories is just too personal. We can't." Yeah, like y'all not letting us in on it, and I know we get caught up in that sometimes.
Right.
Yeah,
But it's just, a 30+ year long friendship.
Right.
on display.
we-
Basically on display.
on
That's
display.
what it. That's what
And
it
we got
is.
stories.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you guys are on YouTube and Anchor, or like what platforms
Right.
are you on?
Right now we're on YouTube, and we broadcast live to either YouTube or Facebook
Facebook
every now and then.
Every
But
now
we're-
and then.
Y'all need to get on Anchor, man. You
I don't
But
even
I
know-
mean,
see-
look,
Yeah,
we-
see, that's why you can help. See,
Yeah,
share
I got
knowledge,
you.
brother.
It's
Share
gonna-
knowledge.
They're
Yeah.
gonna be on there before the end of the night. Love it. Thank you guys so much for just coming on.
Thank you for having
just
us.
for y'all to have men speaking,
This was-
and not having to worry about what people got to say.
Yeah.
Keep doing that, because
Yeah, I'm
you
past
drop-
that now.
Huh?
I'm past that in my
Yeah.
life. I think. Yeah, like.
we're Henri.
Yeah,
my
exactly.
That is the best word.
I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. Yeah.
Honorary. That's great.
I mean, I treat everybody with respect, but I'm gonna say what I had to say.
All right, y'all. Well, this is the Understanding Man podcast. That word honorary is great.
My grandma used to accuse me that all the time. What's up, being so goddamn honorary?